Hi, and welcome to the Positive Food for Thought series here on the Joyful Being channel. Today's topic is fear, how to deal with it effectively, because there's a lot of fear going on right now. And later on, I'll be giving you 3 antidotes to fear. And as always, as we do in this series, this video will end with a guided relaxation. And that relaxation today is going to be focused on dealing with fear more effectively. And of course, we'll be setting a positive intention for the week ahead as well. So stay tuned for all of that. As I am filming this, there are a lot of different quarantines and event cancellations going on due to the coronavirus. And there's a lot of information out there and advice on how to avoid getting sick. But there's not as much information out there on how to avoid the other viral component that's going on, and that is the spread of fear. It is, of course, natural to have fear in this situation because there are so many unknowns. How's it going to impact your health or your finances or even your ability to go out and about and live your life? And of course, the word pandemic itself, very scary word. However, being saturated in a lot of stress and fear about this is really not great for your immune system. So we want to be proactive in dealing with fear more effectively. And so I'll have some tips about that later on. If you don't know me, my name is McIntyre, and it's my mission to help people to live with less stress and more joy. So if you could use a weekly dose of positivity in your life, then you will find the subscribe button right underneath this video. So as is a normal feature in the Positive Food for Thought series, we take some time and I either read you a positive quote or a short uplifting passage, because what we're doing is we're feeding our mind some uplifting, healthy content, the way we would want to feed our bodies healthy, nutritious food. And today I have a quote that I actually stumbled upon a Hay House podcast talking about fear with Dr. Robert Holden. And he has a wonderful quote. I'm going to put my glasses on to read it, so I want to actually read what he actually said. I wrote it down from the podcast episode. I'm going to share it with you. He says, fundamentally, life is a choice between love and fear. And also, it's a choice between loving our fears or trying to repress them somehow and defend ourselves against them. And in the long run, I think meeting our fears with love is the key, and it is the way forward. I love that passage, and often you'll hear that quote, that life is a choice between love and fear. So how can we apply that now in the situation that we're in? Later on in the podcast episode with Dr. Holden, he talks more about facing our fears with a mix of curiosity and love. Because if we avoid our fears, we might be missing an important message that they have for us. I mean, fear can alert us to danger. So what we need to do is to face it with love and curiosity and ask ourselves, is this fear important right now? I mean, does it have a message for me? Is there something I'm supposed to do about it? Is there something I can do about it? Or is this fear spinning out of control, making me tense, making me stressed, and really, truly, is it out of proportion to what's going on right now in this moment? So if we're avoiding our fears, we don't have that discussion with ourselves about whether or not the fear is valid, or has, even if the whole of it isn't valid, maybe it has one little tiny key ingredient that's important to pay attention to. And so if we face our fears with curiosity, then we can look at that, and If the answer is no, that this is way out of proportion to what's going on, then we can look at ways to really truly let the fear go. And if the answer is yes, there's something I need to deal with, then you can be proactive about that. And then there's the love component. Having love for ourselves that we have fear, right? Think about how you can be loving with yourself. And I have another video on self-love. If you want to check that out, I did it a few weeks ago. I'll leave you that link below as well that dives deeper into that giving yourself love component. And this can also include giving love to the part of yourself that is afraid, because it's often a very younger, more vulnerable part of our being. So I recently had an experience that illustrates making a shift around your perspective of fear. And I had to go to an urgent care place to get a pain shot for my back because I had a lower back injury that was acting up and I was in quite a bit of pain. And so I showed up and I'm sitting in the waiting area and there are two people, different ends of the room, with masks on, coughing. And so I could feel myself getting a little bit tense and nervous about that and eyeing them a little bit outside. And I finally had to say, okay, this tension's not helping anything, right? This worry's not helping anything. So I just slowed my breathing down, used my calming, slowing breath techniques that I know, and did a little self-talk to myself, going, the likelihood that I'm actually going to catch anything is small. The likelihood that I actually have the coronavirus is small. There aren't very many cases in my area right now anyway. And just chill, right? Now, when I got home, in order to kind of soothe the fear part of my brain, because I was concerned that maybe someone sick had been sitting in that chair in that waiting room right before me, for all I know. I mean, I was there pretty early in the morning, so that was a small likelihood, but it could have happened, right? So as soon as I got home, I took all my clothes off immediately, put them in the wash machine, put myself in the shower. I figured it couldn't hurt, just as an extra precaution, probably not necessary, but it felt proactive and it felt like I was doing something to address the fear within me. And then when I sat with it and looked at it and went, I just felt in my inner knowing that I was safe, that I was okay, that I wasn't going to get sick from that experience. So I took the space to actually be with the feelings for just a little bit. So those are all important things. And that leads us to the tips. So the 3 tips for not getting saturated in the fear, or 3 tips to bring your fear level down if it's already there, or to avoid or prevent it if you can. So tip number 1 is, as much as possible, stay away from the news media. Yes, of course, you want to be practical. If there's something going on in your area, some kind of alert that you need to know about, you need to educate yourself about that. You need to have that information. But you can do that usually pretty quickly by a quick check. You don't need to get hooked in from that quick check into spending more time saturated in hearing what's going on everywhere in the world, which will activate that fear part of your brain more, being saturated in it. A lot of the viral spread of fear right now is happening through the news. So you have power over that. You can turn the TV off or switch the channel, or, swipe by it on your phone and focus on something else that feels more uplifting, that feels more healthy and loving for you. The second tip is to make sure you have time in your life right now while all this is going on, especially. Always in your life is good, but when fear is there, especially, for some extra self-care and stress relief. So I have a whole stress relief playlist that's about stress relief techniques that you can do in 5 minutes or less. So if you think you don't have time for stress relief, not actually true. There are ways to fit it in. And also you want to do self-care or stress relief that's actually good for you in the long run. that makes you feel better in the long run. So what I mean by that is sitting and eating a pint of ice cream might give you a sense of stress relief, right? But in the long run, it's probably not good for your immune system, and it'll make you feel worse. So we're looking at things that make you feel better. And some things could be spending more time in nature, doing some deep breathing, doing some yoga, doing things that take care of you, whatever that is for you, and everybody's a little bit different. And getting plenty of sleep is good as well. If you can get some extra sleep in, that's good, or at least get a good night's sleep. And if you have trouble getting to sleep, I have another video as well to help you get to sleep with a positive mindset at the same time, and I will leave that link in the video description for you as well, along with the other videos that I've mentioned. So that's tip number 2. And tip number 3 is to play with that concept of giving love to the fear and giving love to yourself, and some imagery can be really helpful for that. So sometimes what I like to imagine is that love, infinite supply of love, is like a warm blanket that's being wrapped around me. Or you might think of that blanket as angel wings being wrapped around you. Or, if you're religious or spiritual, you might imagine divine hands underneath you, like you are being held in divine hands. And you might, like in the last tip, I talked about going out in nature. You might, if you're not able to do that, you might just close your eyes for a few minutes and imagine yourself in nature with the life force of earth flowing through you, grounding you, and letting yourself feel love of nature and love of being alive. So those are just some types of imagery to play with. We'll do it a little bit more in the guided relaxation that's about to come. So use those tips and apply them as they work for you. Obviously, everybody is different, so you need to do what works best for you. So I invite you now, if you're in a safe place, to close your eyes for the guided relaxation portion here. And if it's not safe, if you're driving a car or something like that, then please wait and listen to this portion of the video later. Going ahead now, closing the eyes, and just beginning to slow down your breathing, making it slower and deeper. Feeling the air filling up your lungs, and feeling the air flow back out again as you slow down the breath. Just being with the sensation of slowing the breath down. Sending a signal to your body that it's okay for you to slow down right now, too. And just being aware of your body as you're breathing. Bringing your focus maybe to some of the areas where you tend to hold tension. Just bringing your awareness there, and as you exhale, inviting the muscles to relax, for the tension to release as the breath flows in and out slowly and deeply. And as you continue to just relax and breathe and be, invite your imagination to show you a way for you to receive and feel love right now in your imagination. So you might use one of the images I talked about before, wrapped in a blanket of love, in divine hands, or maybe your mind has something that feels more right and perfect for you. Just allow yourself to play with that and be open to it and see what comes. No right way or wrong way, just relaxing, breathing, and imagining yourself receiving an infinite, loving, pure, unconditional supply of love right now in this moment. What could that feel like? And from this place of love, whether you're just imagining it a little bit or experiencing it quite deeply, whatever you're experiencing is perfect. From this space, imagine giving love or receiving love for any parts of you that may be experiencing fear, either recently or right now. Might give love to your heart, or love to younger parts of yourself. Or even shining love on that brain stem, reptilian brain, part of your brain where fear gets triggered. Compassionately, lovingly giving love to fear. And if you're not experiencing fear, you could also imagine sending love to the fear that's in the world right now. Love to any fear your family or friends might be experiencing. And imagining that energetically that love ripples out from you into the world. And again, you don't have to know how to do this. Just breathe and relax and imagine and allow. Allow it to be in your mind. Allow it to be in your heart. Breathe with it. And let go of that imagery for now, knowing you can come back to it anytime you want to. And just bring your attention back to your breath, flowing in and flowing out of the body. And now it's time to set your intention for the week. And I invite you to set an intention to follow through on one of the 3 tips that I gave earlier. So set an intention to maybe limit the amount of time you have exposure to the news, or fit in some extra self-care and stress relief into your life, or to continue to work with this loving imagery in your mind as you move through the day. So pick one of those to set as an intention for yourself this week. and see yourself following through. See yourself following through with that intention. Good, then take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, and open your eyes, and welcome back. So good luck with your intention for this week. I hope this meditation helped you feel a little calmer. If you liked it, please let me know. And I really wish much love for you going forth. That soothing, loving, being loving to yourself as we all go on this journey together. And also inviting you to spread that love to others, because there's a lot of fear out there. And there is another saying that fear is really a call for love. So if there's some way you can be of service in a loving way to the other people in your life going through this, walking this journey with you, then I invite you to do that as well. And have a wonderful week. I'll be back here next Monday for the next Positive Food for Thought video.